Everyone, so we're working on complex chart. For this assignment, you're going to go to the assignment and you are going to use the spreadsheet. So click on spreadsheet to use and you're going to make a copy. So go up to file, make a copy. And I'm going to call this with my last name. You can call it with yours. And make sure you put it in the right folder so that way you can find it back later. All right, so in this assignment, we're going to do a few things. We're going to do some totaling. We're going to do some sorting and conditional formatting, and we're going to do some additional formatting just to jazz it up. We're going to find some min and max numbers, and then we're going to do the charts, and that's really what our focus is for that, but there's nothing wrong with recapping. All right, so first things first, let's look at the assignment. I need you to calculate the totals for the columns. So I'm going to go down here, and it looks like my totals, I already have a spot that says I need to calculate them. So to calculate them, we just do equal sum. So, and I use an opening parenthesis, and then I just highlight just the numbers for Sleepy Hollow Farms. So this might look a little familiar. It's still pumpkin sales, but we're just using it for different ways. Okay, so I hit enter, and I have 704 pumpkins that Sleepy Hollow Farms has sold in the month of October for 2013. Once I have that calculation, I can just click on this blue square, make sure that B36 is highlighted or selected. I should get that blue box, and I'm just going to put my mouse over it until the cursor becomes a plus sign and drag across. Perfect. And then I'm going to find the max and min of just the pumpkins, not the totals, just the pumpkins. Oops, that should be pumpkins. Okay, so I'm going to find the max. So I use equal max, opening parenthesis, and I'm just going to highlight the numbers for Sleepy Hollow, Pumpkin Galore, and Falltacular, not the totals. And then I hit enter, and I should have 150. I'm going to do the same thing for min, equals min, opening parenthesis, and again, just highlight the data for Sleepy Hollow Farms, Falltacular, just the numbers, not the dates or the totals. And then hit enter, and I should have a minimum of 0. It looks like one day I didn't sell anything. It's probably this one right here. Interesting. Okay, so now I'm going to do some formatting. I'm going to just make this, it doesn't have to be super formatted, but definitely maybe make it, jazz it up just a little. And then maybe I just put a border at the bottom. Like I said, it doesn't have to be crazy. I just want my totals and maybe my headers to be bold. And I'm going to make that yellow so it's easy to read. And then maybe make this orange as well with a border. There. So it's fine. It looks nice and neat. We're all set. So I did the formatting. That was step 3. Now I'm going to sort my highest and lowest from highest to lowest just for the daily totals. However, again, when we sort, you need to make sure you have all the information highlighted. So we're sorting by daily total, and I need all the information highlighted. So I'm going to start with date, A4, hold my mouse down, drag all the way across to daily total, and highlight all the way down. I don't need the final totals in yellow. I just need the dates, and then for every farm, the total for the pumpkins sold. But it's important that I also keep these headers highlighted. Why? Because I'm going to sort by the daily total. I need that header. So I'm going to go up to data. I'm going to go to sort range. I'm going to click on data as header row. And this allows me to sort then by my headers. And my header was daily total. And again, I'm going from highest to lowest. So I'm not ascending. I'm descending, meaning I'm going from highest to lowest. So I'm going to do Z to A, sort, and it should sort. So my lowest should be 10, my highest should be 280, And you'll now notice that the dates aren't in order because they're sorted by the daily total and not the dates. So if you make a mistake, just undo and re-highlight everything again. So double check these. Make sure that it's 1023 and these numbers are going with 1023. It's 60, 150, 70, 280. So we want the daily totals to match the dates, just as they are. All right, so that was sorting, and now let's do some conditional formatting. I'm just going to highlight the farm numbers, so I don't need the daily totals or the totals at the bottom. And now I'm going to do some conditional formatting. And my conditional formatting says if it's greater than or equal to 50, it's going to be green, and less than 10, it's going to be red. So I'm going to go back to my chart. I'm going to go to Format, Conditional Formatting. I'm going to say greater than or equal to 50. It's going to be green. Let's go with a bright green. And then I'm going to add another rule. So I'm going to click Add Another Rule down here where my mouse is. Click on that, add another rule. Now it's going to be less than 10. And that's going to be red. And then I hit done. And so I should have something that looks like this. Perfect. Next, this is what's new. We're going to create a chart. And so to create a chart, we are going to, let me go back here and close this up. We have to highlight all the data. Okay. And it will depend on what we want to highlight. If we want the daily totals in there, we can. We can do all that. So to do that, I'm going to just highlight all of my information here. I can start with date because I want the dates. I'm going to highlight daily totals, all the farms. I can even do down here. I don't need max and min numbers, so don't worry about that. Next, I'm going to insert a chart. So you can do it two ways. You can either go to Insert and find Chart here, where it says Chart, or you'll notice it has a picture. You can also find it on your toolbar, and it's the picture icon here. So there's two ways to do that. It's completely up to you what you want to do. Sometimes I find doing just the picture works better. So again, make sure all your data is highlighted. So I went from date all the way to daily total, and then all the way down to my totals. I didn't highlight the very top title, nor did I highlight the min and the max. So I'm going to go to Insert Chart, and there's my chart. Now, a few things that I want to do. I want to look at the type of chart. I don't really like stat. I'm more somebody that likes bar graphs. So I might do something like that. Or I could even do area. I don't really like that either. They do suggest certain ones. Completely up to you, but it should make sense. So you can look around here. That doesn't really tell me much. That doesn't tell me much. You want to find one that really tells you some things. So that might tell you some things that might be helpful. You'll notice up here, it has your legend or your key. So that's kind of interesting. So I don't mind that. I think that's not too bad. I'm going to go with this combo chart. You can pick a chart that works for you. But now I want to customize it. So I'm going to click on Customize. And again, this is chart style. So again, you can change the chart style. You can change the background. You can change the border, the font. You can then go to Chart and Access Title. So this is under Customize. And my chart title, it just gave like all the headers. I don't really need that. I'm going to delete it. So I highlighted it, hit delete. I'm going to do pumpkin sales. And this was our complex chart. I'm going to keep that. Then I also want to talk about the axis. So right now this is the date. So you can change that X and Y axis. So again, this is the X axis. This is the Y axis. So I'm going to click on where it says chart title. Now I want horizontal or X axis, and that is the date of sales. I'm just going to make it a little bit more. And you'll notice it changes it right here. Then I'm going to click on horizontal axis and change the vertical. And I might say number of pumpkins sold. You'll notice it then creates a label here. Again, you can change the font to anything you want, but I think that's pretty good. And so I like the way that looks. And I can now click out of that pop-up window, and I can just drag my box over. So see how my cursor becomes a hand? And I'm just going to drag it down below. Now there's a few things I can take a look at. I could say maybe, the daily totals were the highest, maybe at the end of the month. It looks like, they were really high at the end, but not at the very end, because you'll notice that the 31st was one of the lowest. They only had 10 because that's the day of Halloween. And maybe very low in the beginning of October because people aren't quite thinking about Halloween. So our goal is eventually to be able to take a look at this chart and make some conclusions, be able to make some analysis about like when is the best time to buy a pumpkin, or at least when's the more popular time to buy pumpkins based on our data. And we'll talk more about that in class. But this is Complex Chart. If you have any questions, feel free to email me while you're working on it.